Again, thanks, Doug. Thanks, Frankie. I appreciate you guys listening to me. My name is Jteralta. I own Cutthroat Brand and everything that comes with it. Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. It started as me being a barber. So barbering was the first thing. And then it led to everything else, right? So let me preface this with this is just going to be more of a story, right? And I got also a title to what I'm going to say today. And it's results may vary, right? Just to be 1,000, okay? So you could do everything correctly, man. You could take all the correct steps, man, and all of that. And unfortunately, man, it doesn't actually mean it's going to click, right? So if you think about it, the odds are kind of set up against all of us, right? It's really hard to make money. It's really hard to invest money. It's really hard to do all that. So I'm going to get into how I did it, right? But let me just start with a small story, right? So pretty much I started cutting hair 10 years ago, literally a little more than 10 years ago, right? So my whole journey this is all in 10 years, right? Yeah, right.
How old are you?
I am now 36. Okay. So yeah, I just turned 36, I guess.
I didn't hear the front part. What do you do?
I own I used to be a barber. Now I just own a bunch of businesses. To be honest.
Name them all, bro. Name them all.
Fuck.
Name them all.
All right. So yeah, Cutthroat City Heights, Cutthroat North Park, Cutthroat Downtown, Cutthroat Otay Ranch, Cutthroat Chula Vista, Cutthroat Escondido, Cutthroat Tattoo. I got a beauty salon. It's my ladies, obviously, but it's my money, unfortunately. We got clothing lines. Yeah, I got a few clothing lines. I got a clothing line called Los del Otro Lado. It's like a Mexican, streetwear brand. It's probably seen Border Babies a lot more. That's us. Yeah, I do a podcast, bro. I do a bunch of stuff, and I grew up in East San Diego. But so pretty much, man, this is what happened, bro. Just like most other people, and the reason I say results may vary is because you guys want to hear the real story, right? So the truth, man, is I was like everybody else, man. I had a bunch of tattoos. I couldn't hold down any jobs. I got my girl pregnant, and I was sitting around like, hey, man, you should probably not sell drugs anymore, right? I'm just gonna be 1,000. That's my actual story, So I decided one day to go visit my friend at a barber school. He's like, I was stressing one day, and he's like, hey, man, you should come by and, just chill out. And honestly, we smoked and we hung out. And he was like, I was just complaining about all my problems. And he's pretty much like, well, why don't you become a barber? And I would be honest with you, man. And I always, to this day, I feel bad about it. The story never changes. I looked at him and I laughed. At that time I was doing illegal things. I looked at him, a barber? Right? I was a barber. And I feel bad because he was becoming a barber. And I'm over here like, a barber? Right? Cool, fast forward, man. I go home, I honestly throw it off. Like, barber, why the hell would I be a barber? I never looked at my barber like I thought he was cool or anything like that, right? Or even like he made a lot of money. I never considered that at all either. But fast forward the story, man, and obviously things start getting worse. We have my daughter, you know what I mean? I'm still trying to do the same things and things aren't working. And to be honest, man, how long, most of us, right? How many of us have kids, right? Probably the second you had a kid, you realize you should stop being an idiot, right? Like, at least that's how it worked. It worked for me, right? So I'm stressing out, man. And honestly, my girl's on my ass, my mom's on my ass. Like, hey, what are you going to do to, whatever? And one day, man, I'm going to be honest, the day beat me so bad. Like, that one day beat me so bad, I walked into a barber school and was like, sign me up, bro. Just, let's do it, right? So fast forward, man. I started at 20, whatever that is, 25, 24. As a barber, and not a lot of people that go to barber school, I feel like go, at least at that time, hopefully now it's a little different, go to really take it serious. Let me be honest, you got a bunch of gangsters that are just trying to do their thing. You got a bunch of dudes out the Navy, right? And then you got a bunch of people that are kind of just doing it as like a thing to do. A lot of kids out of high school that are like, hey man, I just need something to do, right? But my point is, focus is not something I found in barber school. Right? No one around me was focused. Everyone was more worried about going to lunch and smoking, and doing this and that. And I was in the situation where I just really had a hole, right? I had a hole I had to fill up, and I feel like a lot of people don't maybe understand, man. If you're really deep in problems, right? Unfortunately, little shovels of sand is not going to fill that hole. You get what I mean? You're gonna have to back up a truck one day and just and in my case, that was just to get me to like level ground. You know what I mean? Just to be just like the next man, because I was in debt. I had issues. I had all this, right? So the reason I bring all that up is because by the time I got to barber school, the first thing I did was like, yo, like I looked at it like I'm Eminem in 8 Mile. Like, this is my last chance. You get what I mean? So that focus is why I say results may vary, right? I needed to make it. And if I've learned something in the last 10 years is if you don't have to make it, my point is your bank account's on empty, you don't have parents that can help you. Like the more things in life that break you down, right? And in my situation, that helped get me here. I feel like if I had help, I feel like if I had all these things, I wouldn't have had the hustle to actually get here, right? And that's kind of like the real thing that I want to tell you guys, right? Becoming a barber was hard. A lot of you guys, maybe hope you guys are in that stage, right? That's just step one, man. And you have to focus on becoming the best possible barber in the world, right? That's what I did, and I did it 10 years ago, and I did it at a time that honestly was perfect. I used Instagram at the perfect time. I started competing and winning battles at a time where it wasn't like it was now, right? So what I'm actually really trying to say is I was able to get more out of it than you guys can now, right? We all like to throw around these words like inflation and this and that, right? Algorithm, saturation, Instagram, algorithm, our dollar amount, inflation, right? Our industry, saturated, man. And honestly, you guys now have it 1,000 times worse than I did, right? I didn't have as much competition as you guys don't have now. People couldn't go on Instagram and look at amazing haircuts, right? It was just starting, right? So the other detail, the things I was doing wrong, my only thing I ever did that was like a positive, I used to, since I was like 16, I used to print t-shirts, make like graphic design, try to have clothing lines. And when I got into barbering, I realized that barbers don't do that, right? They'll make like a shitty Kinko's business card, right? And sometimes you'll take a picture with your phone, right? But at that time, I started realizing there was these bigger barbers that were starting to take pictures with a legit camera, starting to put their little watermark in the corner, right? And I'm gonna tell you honestly, in San Diego, when I started doing this, I was the first one to make a logo, first one to, and I don't mean like that, but I mean first one to make a logo that wasn't generic, you know? I did all these little things that were mostly, well, that came a long time later, right? I did branding, if that makes any sense, right? So my story is, yeah, I was a barber, and yeah, I was really good at it, right? That's something I'm not here to teach you about today. Becoming a barber is just something that you got to figure out how to do. I went to classes. I honestly, dollar amount, I probably spent about 30 grand in classes that I paid for to become the barber that I am now. I learned, my situation, nothing to do with what you guys got going on. I didn't learn nothing in barber school. I learned everything inside of the shop. I learned everything from learning, messing people's hair up, going on YouTube, and if you got... Huh? Well, shit. Those classes. There's a men's Spire class. There's a the DFS program. I can tell you that the barbers that it was. I learned a bunch from specific barbers. But the detail with all that is you got to do all that work. Now that I'm looking in retrospect, and I'm now here to tell you about the business part, I have to tell you how important it was to become the best possible barber ever. Right? 2 months in, I started competing. I won this little rinky-dink battle because nobody was there, and I came home feeling like I was the man, right? And then I went to a battle the next week after that, and I did the worst haircut of my life, right? I felt horrible. I was like, why am I here? People were literally looking at me like, why are you here, right? You know what that feels like? It feels like shit, right? So I left, and I remember going back to the barbershop and telling the barber I worked for, and he's like, well, why did you go do something you weren't prepared for, right? And I'm like, damn, you're right, like, let me prepare. So I prepared for 6 months after that, right? And honestly, I locked in for 6 months. And this is what I'm a student barber still. And I won every single student barber battle for the next year and a half. Like, at least in San Diego County, Vegas, and LA. And I'm telling like every single one of them, right? Why? Because instead of showing up and thinking that I was just gonna be the man because I'm the man, I went and put that work in and came ready. And at least today's a barber battle, right? And one of the biggest things with barber battles is the best barber doesn't win, ever. It's the most prepared barber. It's the person that has the best client, the best plan, the best all those things, right? So to leverage that into where I'm heading, I had to do all that before I could be here today to teach you guys about business, right? So that level of focus, at least for me, it only came from knowing that if I did not do it, then I would be a shitty father. I would end up in jail. My girl would hate me. That's why I put that focus in, right? There's deeper things too that I feel like, aren't for a class like today, but if you don't got real problems, I personally think you're not gonna crawl out of your situation. I think you're gonna just slowly do whatever you can to get out, and you're gonna tell yourself you're doing better, but it's not gonna do anything in the long run, right? So I become a barber. I get pretty good. I end up in barbershops, right? And I end up doing what most barbers do. I went through 7 barbershops, right? And by barbershops number 6, first barbershop, that fool sucked. 7th barbershop, that guy sucked too. I was at barbershop number 6 still blaming the owner, right? So by the time I got to barbershop number 7, I realized it had nothing to do with the owner, right? It is my job to keep my chair full. It was my job to do all these things. So kind of when I figured that thing out, it was a lot easier to go, all right, fuck it. I mean, excuse me, but whatever this barbershop is or isn't doing for me, that's not my business, right? I need to do my own thing. And at that time, that's what I did. I injected branding into my stuff, right? I was doing haircuts that other people weren't doing. You guys all know about it, like the UK stuff, like a crop now, right? Everybody does a crop, right? That didn't exist back there, okay? I had to learn from people in the UK, Menspire specifically, to learn how to do a crop, right? And I started doing those here in San Diego, and I would only post crops. You know what I would end up getting in my schedule? Nothing but crops, right? So it's one of those things, that same thing. I niched out, man. I can do a high taper. I can cut coarse hair. I can do all of that. But for me, what worked is I was doing haircuts that nobody else could do, right? Crops, mullets, all these things that were shear work based. And that's what I went and paid for, right? So by the time that I became like a professional barber, I was cutting hair in a way that most people don't cut. And let me be honest, it's probably just catching up to now, right? What are we talking about? Proper sectioning, proper shapes, proper all of that. Knowing why you do things, you know, when you cut hair with purpose, you don't make mistakes at all, right? So those are all things that I learned, right? Like, again, today I'm not here to teach about barbering, but I had to fully do all that, right? After I did the student thing, I started competing in regular battles, and let me go on to just say, yeah, now I can be like, I have 49, you know, first place trophies, right? That sounds great. But I had to show up like 200 times, and that means I lost like 150 times.
And all yours?
No, I might have a few more than that. But to be honest, I learned something today when you gave me this.
Yeah.
I have way more of these from barber battles. It means that I tried than I have of those.
Cool.
Right? And in barbering, that's something I want to tell you. If you think you're going to just show up and hit, you're not. That has to do with battles in the barbershop, gaining clientele, all of that. It's not going to come just because you think you're good. You need to show up and work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I was just talking to my boy Austin about it. I think people that get into barbering now should answer this question. Are you okay working 12 hours a day for 6 days a week for the next 5 years?
Hell yeah.
And if you are not, then barbering is not for you. Because what do we see? The battles, the nice pictures online, the people saying they charge $100. Yeah, well, saying it and getting it one time in a week is way different than getting it every day, right? I want to tell you that I stopped barbering when I stopped barbering charging $120 a haircut, okay? And this is 5 years ago, okay? I'm lying, 4 years ago, okay? Why did I stop cutting hair? Because I realized something. I opened up my own barbershop. I'll get into that, right? It was more important for me to run my shop than it was to cut hair, right? So in the category of cutting hair, all I'm here to really tell you guys is you guys need focus, you guys need drive, and you need a why. If you don't have a why, like if I ask you right now and you're like, my kid, my mom, someone's in the hospital with cancer, I got crazy, like, to be honest, if you don't have that level of problem, your results may vary. Because it means you're gonna be fine with doing those little things that are like habits that you find fine, right? Oh, I'm broke. Most of the people that I know that are broke around me, even my own friends, they drink every day, they smoke every day, they're outside every day, they eat whatever they want, right? Those, you're not gonna get to a level of even being able to have the conversation of of business if you don't do those things in barbering, man. When you start, find out how to bring home food from home. You feel me? Find the ways to save your money, because there's just a lot of steps in barbering before you get to that place that we all think we're gonna get, right? But to cut that out, I was at 6 barbershops. I blamed everybody, and by the time I figured that out, I got to my 7th barbershop, and by then I was the best version of myself. I paid my booth rent early. I didn't need anybody to give me clients. I had a full-on system that worked and everything. And to be honest, every barbershop I ever worked at, which is another gem, and anybody I've ever been like on a team with, I was an asset. I promise you, ask any person I've ever worked for. I was an asset. Hey, bro, how can I help you? I treated the shop like it was my own, right? So by the time that I was at the 7th barbershop and I was completely the barber I needed to be, and then this barber fumbled the barbershop pretty much, right? I was at this barbershop. No, I'm not going to name no names. It somehow went under. And I'm telling you like this, if you guys are barbers and you get me, I paid my booth rate on Saturday. I took Sunday off, and Sunday night I get a message that's like, hey, bro, don't worry. The group message, all your stuff is in storage. Something happened with the shop, but I'll reach out to you on Monday. Long story short, bro, we went 2 months in the summer cutting at our house, waiting for my homie to open up this barbershop again. What happened? He blew all the booth rent. He didn't pay the rent, and he lost this barbershop. And sitting here with, to be honest, to this day, some of the best barbers in the city were in that little circle, right? He blew it. Well, that right there is one of the biggest things I want to teach about too. It's opportunity, right? So while I'm sitting in my literal garage, bro, I got a big ass dog, a fucking huge pit bull. My garage smells like weed, and I'm this barber already, like the one I'm telling you about. I'm already that guy, and I'm bringing brand new people into my garage. Not a good look. Okay, and then another thing, like, let me just paint you a picture. My hot ass garage that smells like dog, that smells like weed in the middle of East San Diego. You get what I'm saying? Nothing of this screams, you're this guy? Right? And I swear, man, I remember being on the phone, wiping the sweat off my shit, cutting, being pissed, and calling my buddy that was also cutting out of his kitchen at the time because we're waiting for the same friend. And I was like, yo, I can't do this no more. Right? So if my homie didn't fumble his bag, I probably would never be here today. I would be a number 2. You feel me? I would be a manager of a shop, right? But the fact that happened, that opportunity that he gave me by sucking, honestly allowed me to take over, right? So I opened up my own little shop. It was small. And I called those same people that were all cutting at their house. And I was like, yo, let's do it. And let's do it different than the 7 other people that I worked under, right? So from every owner I ever worked for, I grabbed the positive, not the negative. Oh yeah, remember that guy used to do this, do that, and I put all that into my barbershop, right? Now this is where we get to push fast forward on everything. I opened up my first shop. A year and a half later, I moved down the street into a bigger shop. 2 months later, I get the location next door and open up a tattoo shop. 1 year later, I opened up the location right next door and opened up a women's salon, right? And then literally every year after that, Escondido, North Park, Chula Vista, moved my Chula Vista location, whatever. And honestly, for the last 3 years, I think I've opened up like 2 a year, right? So that's the part I'm gonna fast forward because it's easy to do it over and over and over once you did it one time, right? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you things are perfect. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I'm rolling in dough, right? But it was literally that simple. Once you did it once, and he's like, hey, I can do it again, I stopped cutting hair, and I focused on just probably trying to be the best owner I could be. You feel me? Making my shop the most known, making my shop the most promoted. And like I said, in a certain way, it worked, man. No other barbershop wanted to do that at the time, right? I spent the amount of money on my barbershops that at that time you would tell another owner, and they'd look at you like you're stupid, right? Now I'm gonna be honest, it's a normal. It's completely a normal. You cannot compete in the modern day barbershop owner without having the epoxy floor, the ring lights. Let me be 1,000. For us, all us owners, isn't it true? It's becoming industry standard, right? And again, I'm not saying like I started none of that. I'm saying I just decided I would spend the money, right? We started open barbershops for all of us owners. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? We start opening our shops with what, like 20K? Right? And we're like, oh, it's enough and we'll grow, right? Well, like some of the biggest successes we have now, we spent 200K on, right? You know how long it's going to take you to make that money back? A long time. So I didn't open up that shop to make that money. If I end up making that money on the back end, well, then I'm lucky, right? I opened up that shop to be able to flex that. Look at what I did. And then that's the second part of this. I'm here teaching you guys a business seminar today. And the reason I say it like that is because you guys might be looking up, right? But I don't feel like I'm at where I'm at. I have problems every day. None of that has changed yet. I got money problems every day. I got employee problems every day. All the same things happen, right? And the reason I got to kind of be a little bit pessimistic in this conversation too is to succeed, you're not signing up for things to work. You're signing up to be there when it doesn't. You know, when things go imperfect, my shops don't even see me. You know when they see me? Jimmy, when do you see me? You feel me? That is the actual trade-off. That is the business part of it. You get what I mean? Like, so I'm not here to tell you, hey man, you guys follow this script and it's gonna work. Personally, I don't think it's gonna work. I think you gotta find whatever your issue is in life, and sorry, I'm not, whatever your issue is in life, you suck, bro. Grab that thing as motivation, right? And literally use that to lift you out, right? Because I noticed that there was just steps, guys. There's the first step, which is most of us are in. There's the hole. It's I have to fill up this much just to get to a world where I'm on a level playing field, right? How many of us have issues with credit? Right? How many of us have money stacked in the bank account? I don't, my bad, Like, I don't either. You get what I'm saying? Because that's what business is. It's not the amount, like right now, right? I did this little weird, like this thing. If I look up what I'm worth compared to what I have, you'd cry. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not that. I'm only worth this much if my business is at the best it can be and I sell it. You get what I'm getting at? I am not worth that. You feel me? And that's the biggest thing that I really want you guys to get out of this, man. Is it cool that I can be like, I have this, and this? Hell yeah. But is it cool that you wake up with a certain level of stress? Right? Is it cool that your family don't see you? No. My daughter does not see me, right? And that's the thing I really want to like push. Some people might be able to find balance. Well, you can find balance if you just want this much. If you want this much, relationships, everything is something that you gotta not sign up for, right? I'm telling you right now, man, I'm sitting here, I'm a sick ass business owner. I am a horrible dad. You get what I mean? I am a horrible partner. You feel me? There's the things that for me can't go hand in hand. You feel me? I am not physically able to take over the world and still do all these other things. So what I just really want you guys to get out of this, it's maybe don't aim for the stars like everybody tells you. You feel me? Aim for that thing that's going to make you feel good. Because now, bro, I'm going to tell you something. You know why I have an issue saying how many shops I have? Because the more I say, the more I sound cool. But right now, I want to cut that shit down. I want less. I want to put my money in things that make more money than barbershops do. You feel me? We've all heard the same thing. I want to be in the real estate. Why the hell would I want to be in hair? Right? And that's the thing that I want to tell you. If there's one successful part to what I am, is that at least I'm in a position where I can leverage these things to head in that direction. Right? And that's the win. Because I don't got the Lambo yet. You feel me? I don't got the bank account yet. You feel me? I don't. I got a shitload of debt, liability, responsibility, accountability. You get what I mean? And that is the hardest part every day. You feel me? So what I'm going to honestly literally end with is, check this out. I don't care if you're going to wash cars. I don't care if you're going to be a barber. Figure out how to become the absolutely best one you can be. Okay? Figure out how to fill every slot in that day. What does that mean? Oh, I got 2 hours break. That does not mean go to Karina's. That does not mean straight up. It means find a way to use those 2 hours properly. You feel me? Like, there's days where I got nothing to do at 7 p.m. Okay? I still don't go home till 10. You feel me? I sit my ass right there, and it might look like I'm doing nothing because I'm not in a world where I have to do things no more. I just have to think and write shit down and like whatever, right? But that's actually the ticket. That's how you're going to get there. It's filling all your time with more things to do. And like I said, results may vary because you need to want that. You feel me? If you don't want all that stress, if you aren't good with confrontation, if you have anxiety, if you have all these things, I can't wait for you to do a business. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm being 1,000 with you. That's what it is, right? So, yup, I was a screen printer and a graphic designer. I got into barbering. That led me into being a better barber because I was able to become like a branded barber, right? And you fast forward now, and that's why I have a brand and not a barbershop. right? If you heard about us, you might hear the barbershop, but what do you hear? This is Cutthroat brand, right? We have a media team. We got a photography studio. We print our own T-shirts. The reason I don't like to name all the things earlier is because it stresses me out to say it, right? Damn, you're right. I got to check in on 7 businesses today, 14 other people. Did we print those fucking shirts? Did we pay those bills, right? And that's the part that I think people skip on. Anyone that you know that's really there, I don't know how they could be happy. I don't know how they could have it together. You feel me? I don't know how you can do all that. So long story short is, do this in a way where you build your mental health properly so that you can exist in this world, right? Because I'm going to tell you this. Am I stressed? Hell yeah. But look, man, I can do whatever the fuck I want every day, right? I can choose to work, right? I might be a little negative tomorrow if I don't, but I can choose to work, right? I'm not going to lie here and tell you I have a hard job or nothing like that, right? But that was all that scale, right? And at the end of the day, like I said, very simple steps. Whatever you're going to be, hurry up and be that. And every day you lag on being that person, well, then we're not even having this conversation yet of where you get to next, right? Because I'm going to end it with what I did wrong. I really thought I could do it all at once. I thought I could do it without structure. I thought I could have the best barbers in the world and not care if they were, I cared if they were good haircutters, not if they're good barbers. Now, for any of us that are shop owners, do you care about haircutters? Do you care about good barbers? Exactly. Right? You know what's a good barber? It's someone that I don't have to tell them how to barber. You care about getting better. Done. I don't even have to help you there. You care about making sure your client is happy. Right? Because if all you care about is getting to the world where you can charge $100 a haircut, right? Well, that's cool, but watch how that goes away. Right? Watch how, normal patterns. You guys notice that as people make a lot of money, you stop wanting to give them more? You guys know what I mean? So if I came in here today and I had 1,000 fucking chains on and I had 2 Rolexes on each hand and I pulled up in the Rolls Royce and all of that, right? This story might feel a little more grand, right? But I look at that like, damn, like that's a bunch of things you don't need, right? But my point is, if I have all that on and I ask you to borrow $10, bro, are you gonna do it? Probably not. Why? I don't look like I need it, right? So that's one of the details I want to tell you. The reason I'm humble, the reason why I move around like this is because it makes my life easier, right? If I pulled up in the brand new car, well, that booth renter might think it's cool to owe me more money, right? I'm not doing that no more, right? That's the thing. You gotta be humble long enough to actually make it. And I'm gonna end it with this, guys. If you guys appreciate where I'm at right now, thank you. But I think I'm in my first third. And look how much there was right there to kind of unravel, right? So that's it, man. I appreciate you guys listening to me. Like I said, man, get good at whatever the hell you're going to be, because there's nothing I can tell you about how to do that, man. You got to figure that out. Then after you do that, work hard for at least, goddamn, I'm serious, at least 5 years. And figure out how to spend the least, make the most, okay? Don't go home. Right? All of us that own barbershops, we know what we're talking about, right? Oh, man, it's been slow all day. I'm just going to go home. And as soon as that barber goes home, what happens? Right? It just means adjusting things. You know what I would do? Bro, I was here all day for 2 weeks, and there was nothing in the morning. There was only haircuts at night. I look at that person like they're retarded. What does that tell you? Show up at night. You get what I'm saying? Don't complain. Like, we all have life. We all have things we got to do instead of just... who can afford to just be at the barbershop 20 hours a day? Nobody either, right? Like, I get that too. But if your chicken comes through that door and you're not helping bring that in, how else are you going to make any money, right? And the reason I say this is because check us out, man. Even in my system, I got 80 plus barbers, okay? And all the time, somebody's like, damn, bro, I'm thinking about getting a little night job. Damn, bro, I'm thinking about doing this. And that pisses me off because it's like, my bad, bro. It's instead you're saying, I'm willing to go work a shit job instead of doing 3 more cuts today. Instead of advertising a little bit more, right? Like, my bad, man. To me, that's like you're giving up. Go work at Amazon then. Why are you even bullshitting in the barbershop if you're not going to try to get that money right here, right? So that's really the detail, man. I hope you get to a point where you get to have my problems. I hope you guys figure out how to do it better. But I promise you, you guys won't do it without actually making the most income that you can as a barber first or whatever you guys are doing, right? Because for all of us that are barbers, we know what when you do it correctly, what's possible, right? I left barbering when I was making about $1,000 a day. You ask my mom and she tells me I'm an idiot, right? But she doesn't know I had to make sure all these other people eat, right? So once you become an owner, it's different. You don't get to do that no more. If I was a barber these days, I'd be making a lot more money, right? So it's that. If you have a goal and the goal is, oh, I want to become this level of this and make this much money, well, make sure you get there first. And then once you get there, save that money. And then when you save that money, then you're at a playing field where then you have an option, right? Because if this was a business seminar, I probably should be telling you, invest in this and put your money in Bitcoin and go. Nah. Because straight up, check this out. This is how I can end it. How many of us right now got $5,000 to invest with me? That means this business seminar was for 3 people. You get what I mean? Because if you're not ready for the opportunity, it's never going to come, you know? So again, I appreciate you guys that listen for me. This is a story, you know? Again, your results may vary and so may mine, right? So focus in. If you guys need anything, man, my Instagram is at Jteralta. Tap in. I'll try to help you guys out with whatever. But I'm going to literally end it with probably a feeling that probably doesn't make you guys feel great. Being at the top is actually one of the most annoying things possible.
Yeah, sorry.
You feel me? It comes with a lot of extra work. It comes with doing a lot of extra things you probably think you don't need to do. And like I said, once you get up there, man, it's expected that you win every fucking year now. And that's what the truth is, the hard part, man. I don't win every year, but at least I have the tools now to at least compete, right? And that's kind of what the lesson is, man. Do these things properly and you guys will gain tools. What you guys do with those tools, hopefully, is something better than me, man. That's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you guys, man.